So the two circles in your head, masseter, temporalis, seems pretty easy. So then we move on. I'm going to skip trapezius. So that's one that's kind of odd. Where I usually point it out and where I'll be pinning it are these kind of side throat muscles right here. Sorry, I'm like the giant block in the way. Actually, there we go. So this is your sternocleidomastoid. It does connect your kind of masseter area, so your jaw, down your throat, on your clavicle, that's the cleido part. And then sterno, the first part, is your sternum, so underneath this other muscle here, it actually connects to your sternum. But if I'm going to pin it, if I'm going to pin the sternocleidomastoid, it'll be in your throat. Some people remember it as you get older. That's your sternocleidomastoid here. And then I also talk about digastric, since we're up here in the throat area. The digastric is actually this V-shaped muscle that kind of is under your chin. So if you think about if you had your two fingers, you had this V-shaped muscle right here underneath, that's your digastric. So you can kind of see right here. Digastric. Kind of sounds like digestive and maybe the beginning of the digestive systems in the mouth. I don't know. A very large muscle that covers a lot of area. The trapezius is the large muscle that kind of makes this diamond shape on your back. You can see very, very faintly, and if I remove some of this fascia, that actually it's really on there. You can see this kind of diamond shape going down the back, at least right here on this side, and it'll go back up the other side, and it makes this kind of triangle into the neck. So it does look like a large diamond that covers the upper back. If I were to pin it, I'm going to pin it kind of in the middle of the shoulder blades, so kind of center of the upper back. That means I'm talking about the trapezius. Some of the cats, the trapezius muscles, all sorts of butchered, so I'll only pin it on a cat where you can tell what the muscle is, because that's not fair. We also skip number 5, pectoralis major. Who knows where your pecs are? Yeah, so it's your chest muscles. They kind of make this, you know, triangle, or someone said it's your shield. I'm like, okay. So it's these chest muscles right here. We only talk about the most superficial ones, the pectoralis major. So if I pin the chest, that's what I'm talking about. Coolio. So then deltoid. The deltoid of this kitty's playing Arnold Schwarzenegger has been chopped off at this end to kind of help show you what exactly the deltoid is, because it can get confusing when you're trying to pick through the actual cat muscles when they're all attached. So the deltoid's like your shoulder muscle. It does. And then while we're up in the arm, biceps brachii. So just like when you're showing off your biceps, trying to pick up a hot date for Friday, this cat's doing the same thing. So the biceps brachii is this top muscle. Flex for everyone, and I'll show it to you. So triceps brachii is the underarm muscle. So we call it biceps brachii and triceps brachii instead of just biceps and triceps, because we'll be learning actually a biceps femoris in a second. So just know that there's two parts to that word. You'll only get partial credit if you do biceps. Cool. So, does anyone know where that one is? That one's a little tricky. So, intercostals kind of means like in between your ribs. So, external intercostals are the ones that are the muscles that are the furthest out in between your ribs. So, just like right here, you can actually see the white of the ribs right here. These are the ribs. These are the bones. So the muscles in between the ribs. If you notice, some of the other layers of muscle above it had to be removed so you could actually see the external intercostals. So obviously I wouldn't be able to like...
So it's like the outer covering, the inner part?
Yeah, it's kind of the outer of the intercostal muscles, sorry. Intercostals. It's also fairly big muscles. Those are your little bat wings here on the side. Latissimus dorsi, they stick out. So if you're able to grab it, and it's a little flappy flap on the back, those are your lats, latissimus dorsi. It's on my paper. Alright, so now we're on external obliques. And I guess first off, when I'm talking about kind of the stomach, torso area, I like to start off with the abs. Yes, the kitty has abs, and they are spectacular. No, I'm just kidding. We know them though, and how we're going to refer to them in this class on an exam, on a quiz, are the rectus abdominis. So true, we shorten that all the time and call them just our abs, but we'll know them as our rectus abdominis, which is number 14. And you can see it's kind of a different color strip that goes along this midsection of the cat's torso. So that now when we're talking about external obliques are these kind of side ab muscles that are on either side of the rectus abdominis muscles. If you get really close, you can actually see the striations of the muscles go towards the cat's crotch. So if you are like, I wonder what this is, and you look at the striations, they're going towards the cat's crotch on either side of the abs, and so you know they're the external obliques. Cut through the external obliques, so that's why this cut is here. And you pull it back, and you look at the striations of these muscles. If you get close, they're actually going towards the belly button. If this cat had a belly button, they're actually going towards the belly button of the cat. And these are your internal obliques. So, makes sense, external obliques, which have striations going towards the crotch, are on top of the internal obliques, which have striations that are going towards your belly button region. Gluteus muscle is the butt muscle. There's lots of them, so just in general, if I pin the butt area, we're just learning it as gluteus muscle. So you get into way more detail than we need. So that's all. Can appear tricky, but they're really not too bad after you've looked at it for a little while. Sorry. Gentle.
I was like, oh shit.
I usually like to start with this top muscle of your upper leg. Right here, it's kind of teased away a little bit, so this one right here, it's called your sartorius. If you think about when you sit, you can see your sartorius.
Is that how you do?
Yes. So I kind of skip around. These, in my opinion, don't make a lot of sense with their order. So the sartorius sits on top of your quadriceps femoris. So you know your quadriceps femoris is your main upper leg muscle. If you think about femoris, femur, where's your femur? It's in your upper leg, so quadriceps femoris actually makes a lot of sense. So does your biceps femoris, so not biceps brachii like in Arnold Schwarzenegger kitty up here, but your biceps femoris, this is outer upper leg muscle. So biceps femoris, and it may be teased out a little bit on this one. Actually, yes it is, so I can actually grab it. So this is your biceps femoris. And so then the kind of other flappy muscle that's going on here, this covering on your inner thigh, is called your gracilis. Cool. And then these next three are a little bit confusing. So you pull back the gracilis, and you notice there's actually kind of three main muscles. So not the quadriceps femoris, we already learned about that, but these three muscles right here, right in a row. So this first one kind of looks like a triangle, or it kind of looks like the letter A, and that should be a signal that this is the adductor femoris, so number 16. It looks like an A, adductor femoris. And then this next one in line is the semimembranosus. And you can remember it, it's in the middle of these three kind of muscles that we're learning right here. Middle for membranosus, semimembranosus. And then this back muscle here, this third one kind of in a row, is called the semitendinosus. So semimembranosus, semitendinosus are often referred to as your hamstrings. You don't have to know that, but if you're just curious, like, how does that relate to me? So one way I learned these three muscles that kind of rest in here and what name goes with which is, so here's the flap that we call the gracilis, and I learned it as gracilis for covering my ass, because this has ASS for adductor semimembranosus semitendinosus, so ASS, gracilis for covering that. It works. I laughed and I remembered it. So cool. Then we only have two more. Tibialis anterior. Both are found in the lower leg. So tibialis anterior is as it sounds. You know, the tibia is the main bone in your lower leg. Anterior means forward or front. So tibialis anterior is this muscle that would rest, you know, right on the front of your shin. I guess it's like slightly to the side. And then the gastrocnemius is also known as your calf muscle, or at least one of them. So gastrocnemius is the back side of your lower leg, calf muscle. And then that should